Hello, I'm Azai. Welcome back to Sharin no Kuni, Himawari no Shoujo. Feels kind of awkward saying that thing like 3 times in a row. But it is what it is. But yeah, I'm back. No breaks, no nothing. Just took a swig of water. And let's continue where we left off. Kyoko-san, you have a minute.
どうかと長話してたみたいね。
This is a lot more mysterious rather than how it played out in the first one, like in Sachi's chapter. That one was a lot more easy to know. But this one, because this fucking girl doesn't want to answer what's going on with the dad, it's just making things a lot harder. God damn it, this girl. Why do you always have to act so tough?
昔は突っ張ってたんだからしょうがないでしょ。
Well, as long as you can still joke around, I guess you're okay. However, I must say this. You're acting a bit too strict with her.
初日から何を言っているのかしら。本当に厳しくしていくのはこれからよ。
No, seriously. Altering your orders haphazardly like that is going to take quite the toll on Toka.
それがあの子のためですから。
Do you really believe that?
あの子はね、自分では将来の目標を持てない子なの。だから私が道を示してあげるのよ。
Isn't that just you trying to control her life? She does have an interest in cooking, you know.
料理？コックにでもなりたいのかしら。
She snorted. It was plain that she was looking down on the job itself. What arrogance.
私は10日に嫌われてもいいのよ。むしろ嫌われるのが役目なのよ。
Are you supposed to be a martyr or something, Kyoko? If you think so, alright. You hear that kind of thing a lot from political leaders, but Kyoko-san wasn't the type who could follow through on that. You always carry that purse around, don't you? The purse with the present she had gotten from Toka in it.
何よ急に。
You didn't get any sleep yesterday, did you? Because she was too aghast at the fact that she had hit Toka.
どうして？
As I had thought. Didn't I tell you not to push yourself? Because you're really weak. I'm going to bed now. I lay down on the floor and turned my back to Kyoko-san.
勝手にしなさい。
She turned the lights off. Make sure you're prepared to attend training. Kyoko-san came to a halt after she heard my words. Good night. I didn't know exactly how things would turn out. It all hinged on Toka's decision tomorrow. If Kyoko-san ends up going to training and this family ends up falling apart, then what happens next? What do we do? What do I do? Hey you, please tell me. Shut up, you. I don't know the question. I forgot about this chapter, damn it.
お母さん、学園に行ってくるね。
早く帰ってくるのよ。勉強しなきゃいけないんだから。
An awkward conversation first thing in the morning.
ねえ、お母さん。
何かしら。
研修、行きたくないよね。
Kyoko-san frowned.
そうだよね。なんか、怖そうな研修だもんね。
あなたの好きにしなさい。
いや、心配しないで。
She gave Kyoko-san a big smile. It made me realize something. Toka's smile was enough to steal one's heart.
ケンイチ、何ぼーっとしてるの？
Oh, sorry. I stared at my feet. There was no way that I could tell her that I was gazing at her with admiration. Admiration? Admiration? Whatever. Oh geez, how embarrassing. So, have you decided what to sign? She still sounded a bit hesitant. Kyoko-san had certainly been acting strangely recently. She refused to discuss Toka's father. She refused to cancel Toka's obligation. She made Toka study all day long, convincing herself that it was for her own good. There were any number of faults that you could find with her, but she was still someone precious to Toka. There was no way that Toka would let or be at risk of losing her life. Man, it's hot. I guess you could say that it was the climax of summer. We walked down the hot road, side by side. We had reached the school, which was still under construction.
一体何の工事なんだろうね。
It looked like they were carrying stuff underground.
学園に地下室でも作るのかな。
Who knows?
はあ、なんか緊張してきた。
About meeting Pops?
あの人すごい怖いから。
It's not so bad once you get used to him.
あんなのになれるなんてすごいね。
Well, haven't you gotten used to your obligation? That's pretty impressive from my standpoint.
それはそうだけど、あの人容赦なく暴力振るうでしょ。
It feels great once you get used to it.
どうしてそういう変態なことを言うかな。
Oh, what's this? Are you thinking, this guy would be so totally hot if he just kept his mouth shut? Or something?
バカじゃないの？
Oops, sorry about that.
入れ。
Pardon the intrusion. Pops was looking out the window. He threw us a glance over his shoulder. It was as intense as ever. We've come to submit our certificate of recognition. Upon hearing these words, Hosuke turned to face us.
大根10日。
はい。
こちらへ来い。
He started walking toward his desk. His lame foot dragged along behind him.
何ですか？
リラックスしていいぞ。
That's so not him, dude. It'd be pretty awesome if she suddenly plopped down on the sofa, stretched out her legs, and started smoking a cigarette.
大根、お前が今から記述しようとしている書類の意味は森田から説明を受けているな。
はい。お母さんが研修に行かずに済むと。
ということは、お前は大根京子の親権者としての能力を認めているのだな。
はい。
嘘をつくな。お前はただ自分の母親を過酷な状況に追いやりたくないだけだ。
いや、はい。能力とか難しいことはよくわからないんですが、私を今まで育ててくれたお母さんだから。
母親だからなんだというのだ。お前の自由を勝手に奪い、犯罪者に仕立て上げたのだぞ。本来なら反感を抱くべき相手だ。
Oh, sorry, that was actually a lot faster than I thought. The way he speaks.
でも、今までそんなに不自由を感じたことはなかったので。
そうか。
Hozuki suddenly grinned in a positively unearthly manner. The mood of the room changed completely.
気を楽にしろ。私はお前の意志を尊重するつもりだ。
Hozuki's eyes were humorless.
実はお前が好意を抱いている森田健一がお前たち家族の監督に手を焼いているようなのだ。
恋って。
Toka's tension melted away into embarrassment.
冗談だよ、大根。しかし森田も大変な奥手ゆえ少しは気にしてやってくれ。こいつは青春の全てを特別高等人の試験に費やしてきたのだ。
はあ。
This was seriously creeping me out.
父親に会いたくて家出したそうだな。
The border officials must have reported it to him.
すみません。
Toka shrank back, fearful of Hozuki's ire.
怯えることはない。私も父子家庭でな。母親に会いたくて家出をしたこともあるのだよ。
I don't like how he's saying this. It feels like he's trying to be in the same wavelength as Toka so that she sympathized with him. That was definitely a lie. Hozuki Masaomi would never reveal something relating to his personal life. He would simply demonstrate to you the overwhelming truth of reality. If this job were a horror movie, then he was the monster. His actions invited no empathy.
大根の気持ちはよくわかる。
I was convinced that Hozuki was trying to manipulate Toka. He was just telling her what she wanted to hear. He was trying to convince her that he was her ally.
ところで、父親はどんな人間だったのだ？
どんなって。
優しかったか？ 職業はどんな話題を好んだ？大根に何か買い与えてくれたか？
ケーキを焼いてて、いつも笑いながら、優しくて、私がどんな失敗しても怒ることなくて。
おお、幸せそうだな。
はい。
会いたいだろう。
はい。またケーキ食べたいんです。
ケーキの作り方を教えてもらうといい。興味あるのだろう。
それいいですね。楽しそう。
Toka was growing more and more at ease.
私って将来の目標とか夢とか正直ないんです。本当に嫌になっちゃうくらい何も考えていなくて、サッチみたいに絵が上手なわけでも、日向さんみたいに勉強ができるわけでもないし。
他人と比較することはない。大根は大根、光弘は光弘だ。それぞれ別の体で別の考えを持って生きているのだから。
でも私料理は結構好きなんです。まだ趣味の範囲だと思うんですけど、将来はパティシエとかそういうのになれたらいいなって。子供っぽいですかね。
素晴らしいことだ。
どうも。
It would appear that Kyoko-san rarely offered Toka her praise.
パティシエになりたいと京子氏と相談しないのか？
いや、お母さんはとにかく勉強して特別高等人になれって。
京子氏は優秀な教員だ。それもお前のためを思ってのことだろう。
優秀？
学園生からの評判はいいし、指導実績も十分だ。
でも。
Toka bit her lip, repressing some sort of dissatisfaction. Neither Hosuke nor myself failed to notice it. People can't help but complain when someone they know has praise lavished upon them.
ただ自分が高学歴なものだから、娘にもそれを求めてしまうのだろう。勉強すれば立派な人間になれると考えている節はないか？
あります。だって私が立派な人間になったら義務を解消してくれると言ってましたから。
なるほど。
それにお母さんお父さんから電話がかかってきて以来ちょっと変なんです。前にも増して勉強しろって。部屋から出られないし、友達にも会えないし。
I just noticed something. Toka wasn't enunciating her words very clearly. Its deficiency would seem to suggest that she was looking for someone else to make her decisions for her.
友達にも合わせないというのは健全な指導とは言い難いな。しかし繰り返すが、京子氏には優秀な指導実績がある。命令が厳しくなったのがつい最近のことであれば、もう少し様子を見てもいいかもしれんな。
そうですか。
Toka clearly had a lifetime of complaints piled up inside of her. Hosuke knew this and was pushing her buttons on purpose. Sir, shouldn't we proceed with our agenda for today? Toka shot me an annoyed glance. She clearly wanted to talk to him some more, but I couldn't stomach the way Pops was treating her.
ではこの必要項目に記入を。
He presented Toka with a 3-page document.
これ全部書くんですか
？Toka was taken aback by the amount of information that she had to provide. Essentially, she had to describe how Kyoko-san had educated her on a variety of matters. Discipline, treatment, meals, personal relationships, TV watching, toys, video games, studying, hospital visits. Furthermore, most of them were free response.
母親の教育に満足しているという内容で各欄を埋めていくのだ。
She let out a sigh.
競技の記載は罰せられる。慎重にな。
Toka gulped. She lowered her eyes to the document, staring at it like she wanted to bore a hole through it. We had left first thing in the morning, but it was already around noon, and Toka still wasn't finished.
間違えちゃった。
She looked at me warily, crossed through it twice, and applied a correctional stamp.
ごめん。 私こういうの慣れてなくて。
Don't worry about it.
これ今日中に書かなきゃいけないんだよね。
今日中にかけなければ明日には京子氏を迎えに人が来る。
町の外に行くんですか？
詳しい場所は言えない。
どういったことをやるんですか？
Ozuki shook his head.
おそらく京子氏に対する研修は今回が最初で最後だ。よく考えることだな。
ケンイチ、どういうこと？
He means that if you miss this chance, then she won't be able to attend in the future. Exactly what he had just said. However, Toka still seemed to be confused. These training seminars are held for the purpose of educating parents, yes? In other words, Kyoko-san may come back from her training as a substantially gentler person. Of course, the opposite also held true.
母親の成長の機会をみすみす逃すのかと聞いているのだ。
Toka slowly put her pen down. Toka?
研修に行った方がいいかもしれないってことだよね。
I couldn't offer her an answer.
いや、でもすごい過酷なんだよね。死人が出るほどだって。
That's right. So if you go through with it just this once, then Kyoko-san won't need to be placed in harm's way.
そっか。
私は研修のインストラクターをしていたことがあるが、死人が出るなどと根も葉もない噂に過ぎん。
じゃあ危ないことなんてないんですか？
She gazed at Ohuzuki, her eyes full of hope. She had probably forgotten all about how frightened she had been after the Amnesty Festival.
京子氏は優秀だ。心配はなかろう。
He hadn't said that she would not be placed in any danger.
じゃあ
Then, she looked at me for a second, then averted her gaze. She must have been feeling guilty.
やっぱり。
She picked up her pen once more. Toka continued to waver between her two options. The sun had started going down. Just how much time had we spent in this room? I was starting to get worn out. Running high on tension all day long wasn't healthy. Toka was feeling it too. She kept blinking and rubbing her eyes. Toka, it's almost time. I took a look at the document. She had left out a lot of blank space in the larger columns. Well, I had my doubts, given Toka's weakness with regards to logic, but she had managed to fill in most of it.
じゃあこれで。
確認しよう。
Ozuki quickly glanced through the document.
もっと上手にたくさん書かなきゃダメでしたか？
分量や文章の良し悪しは問題ではない。お前よりももっと幼い子供に記述を迫ることもあるのだから。
それじゃあもういいですか？
質問がある。
はい。
よーく考えるのだ。お前の人生に関わることだぞ。
Toka nodded, looking impatient.
この一文、私はお母さんから友達と会うことも自由に部屋から出ることも禁じられています。けれど満足しています。次、私はうっかりしていて頭が悪いのでお母さんに迷惑をかけています。だからお母さんの言う通りにするのです。最後、料理が好きで将来はそういう方向に進みたいのですが、台所に近づくことを許されていません。でもそれもお母さんに何か考えがあってのことだと思います。だから満足です。森田、この文面をどう思う？
I'd say it lacks the ability to persuade.
そう、説得力がない。100人が100人読んで母親に満足していないと考えるだろうな。
We're going to need a supplementary statement.
では聞こう。なぜ満足なのだ？
それは
朝から晩まで勉強させられて友達に会えず、食べたいものも食べられず、娯楽も禁止され、将来の夢も叶えられそうにない。そんな境遇になぜ満足できるのだ？
いやでもそれでもお母さんだから。
理屈ではないと？
もうわかんないよ。
Toka's mental fatigue had reached its peak.
なんていうか、お母さんが辛い目に遭うのは嫌なんです。でもずっとこんな毎日が続くのも嫌なんです。どうすれば全部うまくいくのかな。
ではこう考えてみてはどうだ。確かに研修にはやや過酷なカリキュラムがある。お前の言うように京子氏は辛い目に遭うだろう。しかし大根よ、お前も毎日辛い目に遭っているではないか。
そういう仕返しみたいなことはできないです。
違う。お互い苦しんだ先に真の愛情が芽生えると言っているのだ。今までお前たち親子は義務を負った子供のいる家庭とはいえ、特に不自由のない暮らしを送ってきた。そこにきっかけが訪れている。今回の研修こそが親子がもっと向き合い理解を深めるチャンスなのだ。
チャンス？研修が？
研修を終えた親たちは皆すがすがしい顔をするぞ。ある母親は別れた夫と再婚し、ある父親は虐待していた子供を深く抱きしめた。己の過ちを悔い改め義務を解消する者もいるほどだ。
Man, this is just pure manipulation. What the fuck is he doing?
義務がなくなる？
She looked at the badge on her chest.
父親に会いに行けるぞ。
お父さんに？
家族3人でまたケーキを食べられるのではないか。
Toka? She was spacing out.
おね、お前は自分が頭が悪く考えが足りないと思い込んでいるようだが、今そうやって母親のために悩んでいるではないか。お前は十分に考えている。
そうですか。
あとは決断するだけだ。私と森田は何も強要しない。お前の意志に全てを委ねるとしよう。
本当に研修に行けばお母さん変わるんですか？
Oh, she'll change, alright.
京子氏は優秀だ。きっとうまくいくだろう。
Yeah, I knew where this was going.
母親を研修に行かせることでより円満な家庭を築くのか、それとも多少の危険を恐れるあまり一生現状を維持し続けるのか。さあ決断の時だ。
私は
お母さんが研修に行くことを
止めません。
Even a child could have let her into that one.
よろしい。よく言った。素晴らしいぞ。
Toka let out a long sigh.
お母さんは研修に行くべきだよ。だって最近のお母さんやっぱりちょっと変だもの。
I actually don't know if I went to the bad route or not. Oh no. I don't remember, dude. Toka, are you okay with this?
ケンイチには関係ないことでしょ。
Why are you angry? Because she felt guilty. I already knew the answer, but I asked anyway.
うるさい。私は自分で決めたんだから。
その通り。長い時間を取らせたな。帰っていいぞ。
He tore up the documents. Toka caught a glimpse of the spectacle.
これでいいんだよ。
She then fled from the room as if she were trying to escape her own guilt. If you had asked me if Kyoko-san possessed the proper qualifications to serve as a parental authority, I would have had to respond in the negative. So I couldn't very well blame Toka for sending Kyoko-san to the training. But still, there was something about the situation that I didn't like.
たとえ自分がどれほど辛い現状に立たされていても反感を抱かず母親が研修に行くのを止める。
Oh, sorry.
たとえ自分がどれほど辛い現状に立たされていても反感を抱かず母親が研修に行くのを止める。実に優しい娘だ。
Something I didn't like spoke.
だが優しくて頭の悪い人間ほど社会の役に立たないものはない。あの娘を見れば親の出来も知れるというものだ。
Sir, what the hell are you trying to do?
親権者が死亡する。自動的に義務が解消される。そして森田の試験は次の段階に進む。以上だが。
Of course there's a problem. Don't make me laugh.
あの弱い娘は壊れるだろうな。自分のせいで母親が死ぬのだから。
What? Are you just trying to piss me off?
お前がいつまでも現状維持を続けているからこういう結末になったのだ。人生は上がるか下がるか、現状維持などない。なぜなら自分が成長しなくても時間だけは過ぎていくからだ。そしてお前はあの親子を管理する立場にあった。よく覚えておけ。管理とは成長させることだ。現状を維持することではない。
So, I was the one who had led them to this unhappy conclusion?
悔しいか？だがもうどうにもならん。すでに書類の提出時刻は過ぎている。大根京子は明朝連行される。
There's nothing I can do about it?
出て行け。
His tone implied that I was worthless. I left the room. I had thought for certain that she would have returned home by now, but Toka was still in the corridor. She was staring blankly out the window. Toka, get your ass back in there and fill out that application again.
なんで？
Because the training is too dangerous for your mom to handle.
危険はないってあの人が言ってたじゃない。
He was probably lying about that. Probably.
どれくらい危険なの？
I don't know, but
わからないの？珍しいね。いつも何でも知ってる風な顔してるくせに。
she was getting emotional.
お母さんがちょっと辛い目に遭うのは仕方がないことなんだよ。
Enough! Get the hell back in that room now! I grabbed her arm.
ちょっと。
However, Ozuki would not permit us to enter his room again. The door was locked. He offered no response, no matter how many times I banged against the door or called out to him. Damn it.
ケンイチ、もういいよ。
You moron, think about it.
考えたよ。自分で決めたんだよ。
Hell no! You were made to decide what Hozuki wanted you to decide.
違う。
Toka would deny everything until the end, it seemed. Then why did you wait for me in the corridor after leaving the room? You wanted to consult with me, didn't you? You wanted to know whether what you did was right or wrong. You wanted me to tell you that it's not your fault, no matter what happens.
うるさい。そんな、私はそんないつまで経っても子供みたいな、そんなわけないじゃない。
Toka, what are you talking about?
もういい。一人で帰る。
Hey! The sun had set. We were out of time. Kyoko-san was going to attend the training. What would Toka say to her?
おかえりなさい。遅かったのね。
Toka squealed, then flew off into her room.
森田君。
Toka's actions had made the situation clear.
私は研修に行くの。
I could do nothing but nod silently. Kyoko-san was hurriedly preparing for her departure. The training is scheduled to last a week. I took a seat on the sofa and started explaining the training. I outlined the things she should bring, like bedding, and finished up with a brief physical.
ありがとう。それじゃあ、もう寝るわ。
I'm sorry about this.
どうして？
I don't know. I'm unsure why I'm apologizing to you myself. Kyoko-san had to attend a training because I had been lax with my management. I should have been focused more on obtaining information. The reason why Kyoko-san wouldn't cancel the obligation, what had happened between Kyoko-san and her husband in the past. I'd been taking things way too leisurely.
Toka,
Kyoko-san was standing in front of Toka's room.
入るわよ。明日からちょっと家を留守にしますからね。後のことは森田くんにお願いしておいたから、しっかり勉強しているのよ。
お母さんだってたくさん秘密があるじゃない。
何を言ってるの？
私がどうして研修行きを止めなかったか気になるんでしょ。私だっていろいろ考えてるんだから。
そう。偉いわね。
これでいいんだよ。私だっていろいろ悩んでるんだから、お母さんもちょっとくらいは大変な目に遭うべきなんだよ。
Ooh, that's a very, very evil way of thinking right there, Toka.
そう。手を挙げたりしてごめんなさいね。
それはもういいよ。
おやすみ。どうか。
おやすみ。
I sat on the sofa and listened to a conversation between a parent and child whose wheels had started spinning in the wrong direction. Kyoko-san had a problem. These past few days had taught me that well. She certainly loved Toka, but she had a very hard time expressing it. She had become cold out of the blue and even hit her. She was obviously mentally unstable in some way, so it was only natural that Toka would harbor some sort of resentment toward her. If we followed the notion's guidelines, Kyoko-san attending training was simply a given. And if she happened to lose her life in the process, well, too bad. After all, she was the one who had forced an obligation upon her daughter. Those who sought to borrow the country's power for the sake of raising their children did not complain about their fate. And when Kyoko-san dies, my supervision of Toka would come to an end. Her obligation would be cancelled, and she would finally taste freedom. There wasn't anything I could do to stop her from attending the training at this point. But wasn't this wrong? What do you mean there's nothing you could do, you stupid idiot? I needed to think about this carefully. What could I do that Pops wouldn't see through? Pop's statement earlier had most likely been correct. That is, this would be both the first and last training seminar for Kyoko-san. How could I overturn the nation's decision? Needless to say, that was a difficult task indeed.
Kenichi.
There's a way, damn it! There's a way! What's up? Going to take a bath?
ちょっと言っておこうと思って。
What is it?
私、これからあんたの助けとかいらないから。
Help?
ケンイチ、私のことすぐバカにしたでしょ。子供扱いしてたじゃない。
That's just a joke.
たとえ冗談でも、よくよく考えたら腹が立つんだよ。私は子供じゃない。これからはお母さんの顔色を伺わないで自分で考えていくって決めたの。誰にも頼らないで自立してみせるの。他人から押し付けられるルールなんてもううんざり。
Rules, huh?
思えば私って奴隷みたいだったじゃない。
Those were some pretty harsh words for Toka.
お母さんに言われるがままに育って逆らわずに現状に何の疑問も持たずに生きてきたの。お父さんに会いたいのに料理もしたいのにずっと我慢してたの。
Yeah, I get it. You don't want to live under someone else's thumb any longer.
そうだよ。私他人のルールには従わない。
I guess Toka could get pretty self-righteous when she was driven into a corner.
ケンイチ、わかった？
Unfortunately, living your life without some sort of code of conduct would result in simple hedonism. You're anticipating something happening to Kyoko-san then. After all, you are burdened with an obligation. You have no choice but to follow someone else's rules. Kyoko-san might not ever come back. Are you really okay with that?
もうどうしようもないんでしょ。止めようがないんでしょ。
Yeah.
だったらしょうがないじゃない。割り切るしかないよ。私が自分で決めたんだから。
Make my own decisions, she said. Those words must have been an intoxicating wine indeed. Don't regret this.
しないよ。だってお母さんだって悪いんだから。
But she clearly regretted it to hell and back already. It's Mom's fault too, she said. Wasn't it obvious that those words were just an admission of her own guilt? Talking about your dad? Kuka nodded strongly.
お父さんすっごく優しくていい人なのに、どうしてお母さんは別れちゃったんだろう。
Well, that's what I'm trying to find out right now.
きっとお母さんに問題があったのよ。
Kuka, please go wash your face or something.
お母さんなんか何も悪くない私を今まで縛り続けてたお母さんなんか
Doesn't deserve to live? That might be a bit much. I couldn't let her finish that sentence. Toka, please take your bath now.
とにかくケンイチも私につべこべ言わないでね。言ったでしょ。ケンイチみたいに何でも知った風に偉そうなやつは大嫌いなんだから。
She left for the bathroom. Well, now what? How could I bridge this gap between mother and daughter? Everything would come to a head tomorrow. I was gonna have to pay back my laziness in full. It was early the next day. Two men dressed in uniform and wearing caps had arrived in front of the Oni residence. They had come to take Kyoko-san away. Kyoko-san bid farewell to me, travel bag in hand.
それじゃあ戸締まりに気をつけてね。
Will you be walking all the way to the border?
そのようね。偏僻な町だし。
Be careful on your way there.
どうかのことよろしくお願いね。
Kyoko hadn't come to see her mom off.
もし私が帰ってこなくてもお願いね。
Come on, don't jerk around like that. She wasn't joking, of course.
いいえ、本気よ。私、親族とほとんど縁を切っているようなものだから、頼れる人がいないの。
The men waiting behind her cleared their throats in unison. I guess they wanted to hurry up and get a move on. I could have prevented Kyoko-san from going off to her training by just taking these guys out, right here and now. But that would have made me a criminal, wouldn't it?
行ってきます。
Kyoko-san left, sandwiched between the two men. I looked back at the house to discover a figure standing in one of the windows. In the window of Toka's room. If you're worried enough about her to peek out the window like that, then the least you could have done was see her off.
だって許可なく部屋から出てはいけないんだもの。しょうがないでしょ。
Oh yeah. Kyoko-san's gone now.
だからもうしょうがないんだって。
Calm down. I'm not trying to blame you.
どうにかなるの？もうどうにもならないでしょ。
Let me ask you this. Do you think the fact that we can't do anything is okay? Are you okay with this conclusion to things?
いいよ。もうなんだか考えすぎて頭痛いし。何よその目。やっぱり私のことを責めてるんじゃない？
Oh no. Not at all. I just didn't think you were capable of being this cold. Well, if you're going to be like that, then I'll act of my own accord as well.
何をするつもりよ。
Absolutely nothing, of course. All I have to do is just sit and wait for my supervision for you to come to an end. Which would happen when Kyoko-san dies.
もういい。出てってよ。一人にして。
Sure. Make sure you study now.
また偉そうに。
Hmm? What am I doing that's stuck up?
偉そうな雰囲気がにじみ出てるんだよ。
Really? I was tired of dealing with her. She started acting like a spoiled brat whenever I was nice to her. And I'm sure she'd just try to run away if I got tough with her. For the time being, I decided to leave her be.
もう入ってこないでね。
The living room was empty. I headed straight for Kyoko-san's room. The room that she had forbidden me to enter. As you very well know, I am a piece of trash. And thus, I would exercise the piece of trash theory stating that a crime is not a crime if no one finds out about it. Kyoko-san's secrets come out and play. I entered the room hoping for some results. My search lasted for around an hour. I had ended up having an epic battle with the underwear overflowing from her drawers, but in the end, I had managed to obtain the Holy Grail. Said Grail being an application to cancel Toka's obligation. Kyoko-san had already filled it out. All she would have to do was mail it in. From this, I could infer that Kyoko-san possessed the intent to cancel Toka's obligation on at least some level. Of course, the question was whether she really intended to send this thing in. Perhaps when Toka became an upstanding human being and graduated from a prestigious university. No. It was naively optimistic to believe that she had planned to send it that soon. Exactly when had this been written anyway? I checked the date on the envelope it was in. It had been over 5 years already. She had written it that long ago, yet had never sent it in. Why was that? I took a closer look at the form itself. The corner was somewhat blackened. It was dirty from fingerprints. The paper itself was wrinkled as well. It must have absorbed some sweat. It would appear that Kyoko-san had taken her sweet time in filling out this application. She had most likely been hesitant about whether or not she should cancel the obligation. My search had uncovered one more thing. It was a suspicious envelope that I had found inside of her desk. What made it suspicious was the name of the sender. It would have been a serious crime to open it up and read it, so I didn't plan on doing so. Anyway, it was from one One Juzo. If memory served, and he wasn't just someone with the same name, One Juzo would have been the vice minister of the Ministry of Education. His father had served as a minister as well. It looked like Kyoko-san may have come from a rather prestigious family indeed. I can't allow the One family to produce such a shameful child. I recalled the cold stare of Kyoko-san as she had spoken those words. I think I'm starting to get it. The reason why Kyoko-san was so weak, and the reason why she refused to cancel her daughter's obligation. The doorbell suddenly rang. Coming. I'd received a letter via express mail. I opened it immediately. It contained a copy of Toka's family register. I glanced through it. What? My reaction had been audible. Are you for real? Oh man. What is this? The first person on the list was the father, One Koki. That part made sense. But the name of his spouse, in other words, Toka's mother was...
お邪魔します。いやー、今日も暑いですね。おや、京子さんは？
Shut up, you imbecile. I don't have time to deal with you.
何読んでるのかな？
He tried to peek at the register, so I hid it from sight. It would have been illegal for him to look at it.
まさか、京子さんが委員長の母親じゃないとか？
Cheh.
え？嘘！さすがの僕も今のは冗談だったんだけど。
So, we got played by the fact that they have the same colored hair, huh? The game really likes throwing that kind of thing, right? Making you think that you know your stuff, but not exactly. I actually do not remember this. One Sachio. No matter how many times I read through it, Kyoko-san's name remained absent from Toka's register.
だが、そんなメロドラマみたいな展開では、僕のようなベテラン童話作家は驚かないぜ。
You're an annoying piece of shit, you know that? If I were an author, I wouldn't even put you in my story as the comic relief sidekick. You're just that damn irritating.
いやね、ストーカーって素晴らしいよね。
Shut the hell up already. I'm trying to think about something.
昨日も一昨日もこの家のゴミを漁っていたらさ。
A glossy sheet of paper? Huh? Upon closer inspection, I found that it was a letter. It was a letter that had been patched back together with scotch tape. This is...
わかるだろ？
From back then?
思った通り、京子さんの元の旦那は最低の野郎だったよ。
I snatched the letter away from him and read through it. Ugly handwriting. Copious amounts of vulgar words. It was essentially a series of slurs directed at both Toka and Kyoko-san. It could most easily be surmised as harassment. Summarized, I can't even stand reading this shit.
だろ？
I scanned through it, looking for anything that might prove useful. I searched my ass off to find you, but it's no fucking wonder I couldn't. Hiding out in the boondocks like that. You have any idea how much I had to pay the detective agency to find you, you bitch? The fuck is your problem? Your own brother can't make ends meet, but you refuse to send me any support at all. Return my daughter. I don't give a shit about this parental authority bullshit. Toka is mine. Kyoko, brats like you who are slaves to their parents' every desire are incapable of raising a child. Toka needs my discipline. In any case, the person who had sent this letter seemed to be quite dissimilar from the man who existed within Toka's imagination.
言っただろ？世の中にはいいストーカーと悪いストーカーがいると。
I've never heard that one before. Anyway, get going. I headed to Toka's room, letter in hand.
入ってくるなって言ったでしょ！
She yelled at me as soon as I walked in the door, but I ignored her. I'll ask you one more time. You don't mind if things end like this?
またその話？お母さんが研修に行くのはもう止められないんでしょ？どうにもならないんだったら仕方ないじゃない。
Sometimes you need to do something, even if you can't do anything. I offered her the letter.
何それ？
It's a letter from your father that you wanted to read so badly.
貸して！
Please, don't regret what you've done once you read it. I handed her the letter. Toka started to read it, an intense look on her face. But that intensity slowly gave way to dismay.
嘘。こんなことって。
Her legs started shaking. Her shock was so great that she could barely stand.
こんなの嘘だよ。きっと違う人が書いた手紙だよ。
The next step is denial, huh? Sorry, but no. I saw it briefly before Kyoko-san ripped it up. It's the same handwriting.
見間違いだよ。
Besides, it's written right there. He's Kyoko's brother.
お父さんじゃない。
No, he is your dad. Kyoko-san just isn't his wife.
どういうこと？お母さんはお母さんじゃないの？
Okay, calm down and listen to me. I checked your family register. Your father, One Koki, wrote that letter. And your mother is someone by the name of One Sachio.
誰？それ。
I don't know.
それにしつけって何？10日には俺のしつけが必要なんだって。これ何？
I don't know, and honestly, I prefer not to think about it. I don't think it's anything good.
だってお父さん優しそうだったよ。
Well, judging by this letter, he doesn't seem like a very nice guy to me.
電話
She said it like she had just realized it.
電話に出て声聞いたもの。優しそうだったし。
Really? Toka, did it really sound gentle to you? All he said was your name, correct?
そうだけど。
Toka's resolve was wavering. Who should she believe? Kyoko-san or this mysterious father of hers?
どうなんだろう。わけわからないよ。
Seriously, Toka. Mixing up realities with your fucking delusions.
私、お母さんが悪いと思ってたのに、離婚したのも、お父さんの話をしないのも、何かやましいことがあるからだと思ってたのに、この家は、何が、どうなってるの？
I guess she wanted her to be oblivious and be happy. The fact that she had a good father in her memory. I kind of thought about that to some degree. But I didn't know the fact that she wasn't even her mom. I guess they're family, sorta, since she shares the same blood as One Koki, right? Your only option is to ask Kyoka-san about it.
でも、お母さん、もういないよ。
Toka's voice trailed off into nothingness. Her pupils went blank and her mouth started twitching.
もし、本当に、お父さんがこの手紙の通りな人だとして、お母さんが本気で私のことを心配してて、だから私に電話に出さないように、手紙を見せないように。
Man, thanks, Isono. She started mumbling to herself so that I couldn't hear her.
どうしよう。なんてこと。お母さん、研修に行っちゃった。死んじゃうかもしれない過酷な研修に。私が止めなかったから。どうしよう。
She kept repeating those words. Her tone abruptly shifted. She looked up at me, her eyes filled with tears. She wanted to rely on me. I don't need your help anymore. The strained expression on her face, the expression of a girl pushing herself so that she would appear brave to others, was no longer there. I said quietly, "Leave it to me." Isono, look after Toka.
どちらへ？
To the state border. I'm going after Kyoko-san.
そういうこともあろうかと思って今日は自転車で来たんだ。特別に貸してあげよう。
He threw a key at me. Is it a mamachari? Isono shook his head.
昔サチさんが競輪に興味を持ってしまってね、実験データを取るとかいう名目でなぜか僕が自転車を買う羽目になった。挙句サチさんは速攻で飽きた。まあこれは樋口健の知らないことだがね。
I got it. Thanks. Isono's bike was souped up in silver. The reflection of the sun upon its frame was nearly blinding. I straddled the seat and removed the lock. I grabbed a hold of the curved handlebars. It looked like I could get some pretty nice speed out of this thing. Yet kept it in a good shape. I put my feet on the pedals and offered a silent thanks to Isono. I leaned forward on the bike, tearing through the road lined by sunflowers. I pedaled for all I was worth, the wind beating relentlessly against my head. The rural scenery of the area passed by in a blur, trying to swallow me up. Kyoko-san should have gone straight down this road. She had probably lost her cool by now. I couldn't blame her if she had. She was being shepherded along to a dangerous location by two disagreeable social servants. And to make matters worse, her relationship with Toka had just gone sour thanks to Kyoko-san's nasty habit of keeping secrets. Had she been driven into outright despair yet? Well, the best way to find out would be to catch up to her and see for myself. You know, I chased after Toka just a few days ago, and now I was going after Kyoko-san. I sure had my hands full with his family, huh? The checkpoint at the border came into view, snapping me out of my reverie. I had arrived just in the nick of time. Kyoko-san was just about to get on the wagon that would take her to the training. Wait just a second. I leapt off the bike with a shout. I'm Morita, a special high-class individual cadet. I'm currently supervising One Toka.
Morita-kun?
There were uniformed men on all sides. Needless to say, they regard their intruder with suspicion.
どうかしましたか
Yeah. Well, nothing much. I just have a bit of business with the mother here. Alright. The PAQT had the backing of the Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science and Technology. One could say that it was quite the venerable national policy. I need to confront it from a legal standpoint.
お引き取りくださいすでに研修は始まっているのです
Ah, don't worry. It'll only take a minute. I'll be done in no time.
お引き取りを
The man put more power into his voice than that time. Kyoko-san, you have a minute.
おい
The official pointed his nightstick in my direction in condemnation of my impudence.
職務の邪魔をするな
Yeah, I understand. I won't waste your
お
time.
前のことは宝月先生から聞いているぞ
Really now.
特別高等人を目指す身でありながら国家に対して忠誠を抱いていないと
Hey now. Why the hell did he know that?
そして大根京子の研修行きを止めようと我々を襲撃してくる恐れがあると警告を受けている
A raid? That's not a very nice way of putting it.
我々の任務を妨害した場合はお前を拘束あるいはその場で射殺しても良いとのお達しだ
Pop said let me high and dry with this one. I wouldn't dream of obstructing your duties. You're doing a fine job. It's just that I need to question her about a separate matter. It's rather urgent, actually. I can't wait until after she finishes her training.
質問だ
Indeed. Depending on how she answers, I may even need to detain her for further questioning.
どういうこと
That must have been a bit frightening. Kyoko-san was looking at me with concern. I stepped forward and forcibly took hold of Kyoko-san's arm.
ほら貴様
I yanked her bag off of her and thrust my hand inside. And just what do we have here? I slowly pulled something out of the bag and displayed it to all those present.
何何なの
これがなんだただの果物ナイフではないか
Just a fruit knife. Irin laid a rub. I spoke in a low and exaggerated voice to the men surrounding me. I'll have you know that this is quite the misdemeanor. It would appear that the difference in our levels of education has made itself apparent. The men trembled with anger as I spoke these words. One Kyoko was planning to use this knife in order to commit a crime. At least, I have reason to believe that that was her intention. I will now proceed to hand her over into the custody of the local police.
避けるな軽犯罪だ
If this blade were but an inch longer, Kyoko-san here would be in violation of the weapons control law. I craned my neck upwards and spoke in a booming voice so that the men in the extremely stuffy-looking uniforms could hear me. For now, please be silent and cooperate with my questioning.
森田君何を言っているの
Do you carry this lethal weapon with you wherever you go?
凶器って
I know for a fact that you carry it with you in your purse at all times. Indeed, you go so far as to hide it at the very bottom.
隠してなんかいないわ
Don't lie to me. Oh man, my voice. I started yelling at her. The fact that you made it look so cute just makes it even more suspicious. And why would someone who doesn't cook like you be carrying this around to begin with?
なぜって
Because it was a cherished present from her daughter. I couldn't allow her a chance to say that. I'll never forget it. On the day you tore apart that letter, I saw you staring at this knife later that night. It was quite the disturbing spectacle. Well, that was a given. She was lost in her own thoughts and all. I don't think it was that far-fetched though. An objective third party would have probably agreed with me that she had probably looked pretty creepy back then. But I digress. Just what is it that you are hiding from me, Kyoko-san? The One family seems to have a great deal of secrets, from my point of view.
森田君あなた正気なの
I'm dead serious. I'm a man walking the path of the social high-class individual. You really expect me to show mercy to criminals? I snorted at her. Well now, everyone. Did you hear that? I'm going to have to detain this woman.
しかしたかだかナイフを携帯していたというだけで死を中止するわけには
So you would rather let a criminal go free?
そもそもいくら特別高等人とはいえ人を逮捕する権限はない
This guy just didn't know when to quit. Anyone has the authority to make an flagrant delicto. Oh my god, what is that? An in flagrant delicto arrest. It's one's duty as a citizen to turn over criminals caught in the act to the police. That was a pretty shoddy argument.
いやダメだダメだ馬鹿げた話は聞いたことがない
Sure, for a crime like this, they'll probably just let her off with a warning, and maybe take her photograph and fingerprints. It probably wouldn't be enough to justify an obligation in any case. But when it comes to crimes, there's no big or small, is there?
黙れお前は我々をうまく丸め込もうとしている
He drew his gun. You guys are pretty stubborn, eh? Maybe I really should have started a raid. With that thought in mind, I stare at the man in front of me. Hey, go right ahead and shoot me if you want. But let me warn you first. If you fire that gun at me, then I'm perfectly justified in engaging in self-defense. You heard about me from Old Man Hosuke, right? And you must know all about how I survived for half a year in the Southern Campaign. A regular Falklands? What is that? Falklands crisis, that was. The man's eyes grew wider. And you must have heard that this campaign left in me a state such that I cannot even function without my medicine, yes? Kyoko-san gasped sharply. Sorry for not disclosing that, Kyoko-san. It's really scary when I wake up, right? You know how I go into a rigor mortis kind of state when I sleep? That's because I spend so much time in the treetops. My frequent soliloquies are another side effect. I wonder if it's a kind of hallucination. You know, sometimes I honestly get the feeling that I'm talking to someone, as I'm sure you already know. Wait, just who am I talking to anyway? I took a step toward the men. Come to think of it, I haven't had a smoke in a while now. That must have happened around a year ago now. Yeah, it gets dangerous when I lose my cool. Or, no. There are 5 people counting the one in the fan, huh? I forced my jaw and the side of my mouth together, affecting a thin sort of smile. The officials began exchanging glances with each other. Maybe I've been a little too creepy. Alright, come with me, One Kyoko. Kyoko-san didn't respond. I grabbed her arm. This created quite a stir, but no one seemed willing to stop me. If anything comes up, tell them that I'll take responsibility. Good day, gentlemen. I tossed them a few words over my shoulder and left with Kyoko-san.
Morita-kun, arigatou.
Whoa, you noticed. My acting must have been pretty bad.
ええ。でも、あの薄笑いは本気で怖かったわ。
Stellar, wasn't it?
あなたって、どこまでが本気で、どこまでが冗談なの？
I guess I had created a bit of a gap between Kyoko-san and myself. Well, let's put me aside for now.
気になるわよ。あなたみたいなとんでもない青年、見たことないわ。
Well, of course. Your worldview was quite narrow until I entered your life.
本当に、どんな人生を歩んできたのやら。
People were always curious about the pasts of those different from themselves. Kyoko-san and I were no exceptions. By the way, Kyoko-san, sorry, but I do need to take you to the police station now.
そうね。私って、軽犯罪を犯してしまってるんだものね。
Come on, cheer up. I'm sure they'll just get a bit hot around the color. No big deal.
何らかの義務を負うことにならない？
High-class individuals don't get much free time on their hands. There are way worse people in the world than a mom who carries around a fruit knife. Well, you are a teacher, though. That might cause a bit of a trouble.
法の下には何人も平等なんじゃないの？
That's a load of shit. Besides, you can't just go carrying around a knife like that. What would happen if you got stopped during the middle of the night?
でも、そのおかげで助かったわ。
No. You owe Toka your thanks.
ええ。
Now we could finally get down to business. There's a great deal of things I wish to ask you. I went straight for the jugular. Would you mind telling Toka the whole truth, right now?
嫌とは言えなさそうね。
Even Kyoko-san ran out of pertinency at some point, it would seem. All these new words! Pertinacity. Oh my god, it's not pertinency. Quality of sticking with something no matter what. Okay. Persistence, basically. God damn it, these new words, dude. I walked side by side with Kyoko-san, pushing Isono's bicycle all the way. We had arrived at a small police station out in the country. The investigation had resulted in the following. A report would be filed with the school, and her fingerprints and photograph would now be in the hands of the police. We were allowed to leave without incident afterwards. Her life as a teacher would probably be a bit rocky from now on. But that beat the hell out of attending the PAQT. Still though, it would have been nice if I had managed to rescue her in a more intelligent fashion. Home sweet home.
京子、おかえり。
磯野くん、なんだかあなたが懐かしく思えるわ。
おい、聞いたか今の。絶対僕のこと好きだって。
I'll let you say whatever you want this time, Isono. Isono left on his bike, lost in his own little world. Toko was probably in a room. Acting on this assumption, Kyoko-san proceeded to the door of said room.
なんだか緊張するわね。
I had already informed Kyoko-san of what had transpired earlier this morning, about how I had received her family register, and how Toka had read the letter from her father.
どうかお母さんだけど入っていい？
It was hard to imagine that those words came from a parent who had the privilege of treating their child however they pleased.
どうぞ。
Toka's response was just a bit clumsy.
おかえりなさい。
Now it made sense though why she wanted to keep the parental authority. She was afraid that Toka would be taken away by the dad. Because the dad could do so easily, right? Because they were related by blood. Toka felt relieved, and yet she still could not find herself entirely at peace. Her expression said as much. Just what is my relationship with this woman standing in front of me anyway?
勉強してたの？偉いわね。
Kyoko-san's voice cracked in the middle of her words. She was probably having trouble looking her daughter in the eyes.
お母さんね、森田くんのおかげで助かったのよ。研修行かないで済んだのよ。
うん。健一もなかなか頼りになるところもあるじゃないの。
本当、そうね。森田くんはなんだかんだ言いながら、最後には必ず何とかしてくれるタイプだわ。
まあ変態だけど、ちょっとはかっこいい時もあるのかも。
You guys, I sighed. Am I really the person you should be discussing? Toka had inherited her mother's cowardice.
いや、そんなことは言われても。
So she was just scared to actually come out and lay it on the table. Alright, I get it. His Holiness Morita Kenichi shall act as a mediator on this auspicious occasion. After all, it's some insignificant problem with no relation to myself. It should be a piece of cake.
何よ、その言い方。
I ignored Toka. Let us put things in order. I have two main questions concerning Kyoko-san. Why won't she attempt to cancel Toka's obligation? And why won't she speak to Toka about her father? I shot a glance at Kyoko-san. She was looking at her feet. When she realized that I had finished, she groaned and looked back up at us.
それは、トーカが立派な人間になるまでは。
You were too scared, weren't you? Eh? That might have been a bit too blunt. You were scared that you would end up losing Toka if you canceled her obligation, since you're not her real mother. That much should have been adequate. Toka-san sighed, then spoke once more.
そうね。その通り。私には自信がないのよ。
She smiled in a resigned sort of way.
私もね、トーカと同じ義務を負っていたのよ。家がとても厳しくてね。知ってるでしょ？政府の高官なのよ。
Yes, You appear to be estranged from them at present as well.
そうね。選挙が近くなると頼りが来るくらいかしら。
When was your obligation cancelled?
大学に合格してからね。それまではずっと毎日毎日言われるがままに勉強の日々だったわ。
And that was most likely why she had tried to force Toka to experience the same thing.
私もトウカと同じように甘いものが大好きだったのよ。でも禁止されてたの。
ひょっとしてゲームや漫画とかも？
ええ。勉強に関係ないものは部屋に置いてもらえなかったわね。それどころか部屋から出るには許可が必要だったわ。
今の私と同じ。
ごめんね、トウカ。
Now, heart to heart can wait until after we finish solving these mysteries.
あなたにはもう全部わかっているんじゃないの？
I still do not know the details behind or your frame of mind regarding your position as Toka's parental authority.
それは私も知りたい。いや、別にお母さんがお母さんじゃなくてもお母さんはお母さんなんだけど、それでもなんていうか知っておきたい。
Toka-san is most certainly your parental authority, Toka. If she weren't, then she wouldn't have received a summons to the training. The situation is obviously rather complicated. Toka-san let out another long sigh.
トウカ、あなたは私がお腹を痛めて産んだ子供じゃないのよ。
She said it more to convince herself.
やっぱりそうなんだ。
ごめんね、黙ってて。
どうして言ってくれなかったの？
Cut her some slack. It's not an easy topic to bring up out of the blue.
ケンイチは黙っててよ。
私の家は5人兄弟なの。私は長女なのよ。
It's quite a few for a family in the city.
けれど5人のうち3人とは血が片方しかつながっていなくて、1人は養子であまり関係を持てなかったわ。
I see. What do you mean by partly?
私の父は2度結婚していて、私は前妻の子供だったのよ。私のお母さんは早くに亡くなってしまっていてね。
So she had been isolated from the others.
寂しかった？
最初はね。
Another one of those resigned smiles.
いろいろあったけれど、食事の時間に呼ばれなかったのはちょっと辛かったわね。
And yet you did the same to her, though. And she had done the same to Toka yesterday.
あと、弟や妹は義務を課せられなかったのもずっと不満だった。
It was a common enough story, as sad as it was. A new mother arrives and shows no love for the child that isn't hers.
でもね、慣れてくるのよ。そんな毎日が当然だと思えてくるの。そうして義務が解消されるのをただひたすら待ったわ。自立したらたくさん好きなことをやろうって勉強机に向かいながらやりたいことをノートにつけてた。
Grisaia just wouldn't stop.
ただ私はダメだった。森田くんの言った通り、大学に入って晴れて自由になった私は分かりやすく道を踏み外したのよ。
Started. But alright.
どうして？
私のやりたかったことって普通の子供が当たり前のように手に入れているものばかりだったのよ。お菓子が食べたいとか、恋愛をしてみたいとか、夜更かししてテレビゲームをしたいとか、そんな小さな欲求だったの。
The same as Toka.
だから大学生活はそういった欲求を満たす日々の繰り返しだったわ。勉強は全然しなくなったし、家にも帰らなくなった。
You had a lot on your plate, huh? I tried making fun of her to lighten the mood a bit, and Kyoko-san just gave me that same pained smile.
将来の目標もなく、これといった趣味もなかった私は、愚鈍に 寝たいだけ寝て、似たような友達を作って、何ら生産性のない毎日を過ごしてた。
Completely unproductive. Well, you were a biker chick after all.
それはあなたの勝手な妄想でしょ？
Wait, it wasn't the truth?
中央の一流国立大学なのよ。私の周りは行動力はないくせに知識にはプライドを持っているっていう救えない人種だけが集まったわ。
Stuck up good for nothings, huh?
毎晩高級クラブに通って観念的な話題を好んで選んだわ。社会を批判したり大人をバカにしたりね。大学の成績が落ちてもそんなことどうでもいいの。世界中で2分に1人の割合で人が死んでいても関係ない。刹那を大事にすると言い訳をして小さく笑っていたわ。ちょっとした快楽主義者ね。
Kyoko-san was quite agitated. She must have been ashamed of herself. Kyoko-san had a habit of firing off some pretty arrogant language every now and then. Perhaps it was related to her past.
だから自分が子供を身ごもっているって知った時は本当に怖かったわ。わかるかしら？
Sorry, but I can't say I can.
生命がお腹の中にいるの。そして私の体も変化するの。それは圧倒的な現実なのよ。親の言いなりになって知識だけが育った私にはとても耐えられなかった。
Not to mention the fact that she had grown up without knowing the love of her parents.
おろしたんだよね。それは昔に話してくれたもんね。
Kyoko-san nodded.
子供を下ろすと罪に問われる社会だったらまだ良かったのにって思ったわ。
Self-styled intellectuals loved all that self-denial stuff after all.
それで私も少しは反省したのか、教員免許を取って大学もなんとか卒業することはできたのよ。本当に弱かったわ。灯火を引き取ったのも子供がいればちょっとは強くなれると思ったからなんでしょうね。
引き取った？
さっき5人兄弟の中に養子がいたって言ったわよね。
Ah, that would be One Koki.
コウキは遠い親戚の子でね。親に不幸があって大根家の養子になっていたの。コウキも私と同じように他の兄弟からは阻害されて育ったわ。私とコウキはお互いに同情し合っていたと思うけれど、救いの手を差し伸べる余裕もなかった。ある時コウキは家出をしてね。それ以来何の音沙汰もなくなったの。私の父も母もコウキを探さなかった。ただ私が大学を卒業した時、一度だけ私宛てに手紙が届いたことがあってね。今結婚して子供が生まれるって。
その子供が私？
コウキも幸せな生活を過ごしているんだろうと思って安心したわ。けれどそれから4年くらい経って私もまた子供を持ってもいいかもしれないとようやく立ち直り始めた時だったわ。
Kyoko-san gazed at Toka.
家庭裁判所から連絡を受けたの。それで
Kyoko-san, you should try and say this part gently.
どういうことなの？
トカ、あなたの家庭はね、当時問題があったの。
Yeah, I guess the fact that she was abandoned, huh? It must have been a pretty major one, if it had resulted in the loss of parental authority.
あなたに義務を負わせてあなたを好きなようにしつけていたの。
嘘。だって私覚えてるよ。お父さんいつも笑ってたよ。スパテル持って。
そう、優しい時もあったんでしょうね。
Ah, I see. That's actually a lot more human. That's a lot more human storytelling, I would say. Instead of saying Toka was delusional, they actually said it like this. That's actually really nice.
お母さん、本当のことを言って。私も小さい頃の話だから、何か記憶違いをしているのかもしれないし。
あなたによくしてくれた先生がいてね。よく家族ぐるみで私やあなたを家に招待してくれたの。
Oh.
先生の奥さんがケーキ作りが趣味でね。トカはケーキをおねだりしていたものだわ。
So it's not him, alright? God damn it, game. She probably meant social worker, not teacher.
つまり、私が勘違いしてるってこと？じゃあ、やっぱり私のお父さんは、あの手紙の通りに怖い人なの？
それは。
Kyoko-san averted her gaze. It was too difficult for her to say. So I spoke in her stead. And that would be why Kyoko-san has refused to speak about their father up until now. The color of Toka's face changed.
そっか。
トカ、あまり深く考えないでね。あなたは何も悪くないんだから。
I don't know about that. She sentenced you to death. Nearly drowning herself in the bathtub and banging her head on poles. Whether they were conscious of or unconscious actions, they could be construed as acts of self-mutilation arising from psychological trauma in one's youth. That was probably why Kyoko had been so panicked when Toka had fallen asleep in the bath. Whoa, what the hell? Oh, okay, wow. She thought that far? Holy crap. If Toka had forgotten about the past, then perhaps that was for the best. So ultimately, you were appointed as Toka's guardian, yes? I changed the topic.
裁判所の命令もあって、トカの親権は私に委託されたのよ。
Your siblings and other relatives refused to take Toka in. Kyoko-san nodded apologetically, trying to absolve some of her family's shame in my eyes. And thus you became the mother of a girl bearing an obligation. So Kyoko-san had enforced the obligation upon her. It must have been tough, having a child with an obligation thrust into her care like that.
何度も義務の解消を申請しようとしたわ。
I know. Your suffering made itself apparent on those applications. Wait, I had just blown my cover! Kyoko-san made no attempt to lecture me, however. She just stood there, watching Toka with those same trembling shoulders.
トカ、あなたを見ていると、まるで昔の自分がそこにいるようで、複雑な気持ちだったわ。私は口答えも許されなかったのに、どうしてこの子はって、つい感情的になってしまうこともあったり。私は成績が落ちるとひどい目に遭わされていたのに、どうしてトカは自分から勉強しないのって。ごめんなさいね。
I mean, to be honest, it's kind of perfectly normal, right? Especially since she's not even a mom. She's not even... like, she's basically an aunt to Toka, right? Technically. Maybe not even an aunt because One Koki was just an adopted kid.
お母さん。
Kyoko-san had become Toka's mother with a hole in her heart. A hole that her parents should have filled.
子育てなんてまるでわからなくて、義務があると便利だったのよ。何でも言う通りにさせることができるから、向き合う必要もなくなるから。私の親と同じように、あなたを義務で縛り付けておくのが一番楽で確実な子育てなんじゃないかって、ほじき先生にも言われて。
That rat bastard.
お母さん、もういいよ。
ごめんね、トカ。
だってそんなに苦痛じゃなかったから。
Yeah. Study, exercise, don't eat too many sweets. There are things that any parent would tell their kid.
おかげで健康に育ったよ。
Toka smiled optimistically. Well then, I guess that about wraps things up here. Wraps things up? Things up? Isn't it supposed to be wrap? Whatever.
そうね。いい加減義務を解消するわ。
Toka perked up as soon as she heard those words. She wouldn't have to wear a badge any longer.
私の言うこともちゃんと聞いてね。
もちろんだよお母さん。
命令はしないけれど、あなたに必要だと思うことは言わせてもらうからね。
私バカだからお母さんの助けがいるよ。
I guess my work here was just about finished. Alright guys, I'm kinda tired, so I placed my hand on the doorknob. I wanted to give them some time to themselves.
森田くん、待って。
What is it? I'm about to drop dead from running that marathon earlier. Kyoko-san tapped Toka on the shoulder.
ほら、10日もお礼言いなさい。
Huh?
本当にあなたは意地っ張りなんだから。
No, I don't need your thanks. I just stirred your family a bit so I could pass my exam.
でもお母さんを助けてくれた。
That was just because I didn't like the way Pops was running, that fat mouth of his. Kyoko-san laughed.
森田くんも10日と同じね。
She was treating me like a kid.
ありがとう。
Okay, okay. I scratched my head. Good night. And this time I really did leave. I stood at the door for a bit, listening to the awkward conversation between the two.
お母さんはお母さんだよね。今まで通りだよね。
いいえ、私はもう少し自分に素直になるわ。
じゃあ私も。
Night had come and their conversation had drawn to an end. I decided to pay a visit to Toka's room. Yo.
何よ急に。
Toka had been sitting on her bed, but got up to greet me. Man, a lot happened today, huh? Have you calmed down any?
いや。
Her cheeks were flushed, so she was probably still a bit upset. Her face as a whole seemed rather stiff as well. Well, honestly, I expected more of a reaction out of you, you know? So I was kind of wondering if you were doing alright.
そんなことをわざわざ聞きに来たの？
Well, I'm still your supervisor, you know?
担当だから。
Oh, sorry.
担当だから。それだけ？
Her voice was faint. What?
なんでもない。ちょっと頭が沸騰してるみたい。
I'm glad you guys were able to work things out.
実感が湧いてこなくて、私が実はお母さんの子供じゃないだなんて。
Does it bother you?
そんなことないよ。だってお母さんすごく辛そうに過去を話してたし。
That was probably why Toka hadn't talked back to her earlier.
でも私のお父さんがまさか私をひどい目に遭わせてたなんて本当なのかな？
So it has been bothering you.
でもお母さんにそれを聞くのはなんだか悪い気がして。だってお母さんは私の理想のお父さんを壊さないようにしてくれてたんだよ。
She really was kind. Stupid, but kind. It was quite rare for both parents to lose their parental authority and have their child given to an outside party. The court wouldn't have bothered taking action unless her parents had been abusing their authority and mistreating her in some way. However, I don't think that knowing the truth would have made Toka any happier. What do you think? Do you remember your dad ever doing anything weird to you? Toka cocked her head to the side, thinking.
ない。
Thank God for that. Then shouldn't that be good enough for you?
どういう意味？
Kyoko-san said it too. You remember your father as being a good person, so there's no reason to keep worrying about it like this. Realizing what I was about to say next made me feel a bit dizzy. You don't need to drag around your past like that. What the hell was I saying? What's done is done. You can't change it. What the hell was I doing? Making myself out to be such a great person like this.
ケンイチ？
What is it? I had abandoned my friends 7 years ago. So what the hell gave me the right to act like this?
ケンイチ、汗びっしょりだよ。
A sensation of warmth pressing against my forehead brought me back to my senses.
大丈夫？疲れたの？
Yeah, thanks. Toka wiped my filthy sweat off with her bare hand. Hey, I haven't taken a bath yet.
ベッドに横になる？
No, I'm fine. I'd come here to help her vent her frustrations a bit, but I just ended up causing more trouble for her.
お水持ってくるね。
That's okay. Toka made me lie down on her bed and ran out of the room. Come to think of it, Toka was the only one unrelated to the event 7 years ago. I allowed myself to depend on her too much for just a bit.
ケンイチ、お水。大丈夫？飲めそう？
She looked into my face, worried about me from the bottom of her heart, even though she had her own problems to be worrying about. Don't worry. I took the cup and downed it in one gulp. You stupid idiot!
何よ？
Why the hell did you bring me hot water, you moron? How on earth did you not notice?
だって焦って持ってきたもんだから。
Well, I guess it's my fault for actually drinking the damn thing.
そうだよ。まったく感謝しなさいよね。
Indeed, I'd gotten a lot better with her help. Somehow just looking at Toka was enough to make one smile.
何よ？人のことじーっと見て、またバカにしてるんでしょ。
I might actually have taken quite a shine to Toka. If I looked at things objectively, then Toka was an outlier of sorts. She was the only person I would tease like this. Well, I was a kid at heart and all. What were we talking about again? Did you forget? Oh well.
覚えてるよ。お母さんの話でしょ。
You love your mother, yes?
もちろん。
No hesitation at all. How dazzling. You said it yourself. You suck at thinking too deeply about things. So that should be enough, right?
うん。
Now, that response was a bit superficial. Worrying about it was natural, I guess. Hey, come on. If you worried about it too much, Pops is gonna take advantage of you again.
あの人もある意味私とお母さんを救ってくれたんだと思う。
Huh?
あの人の言った通り、今回の研修の話はちょっとした試練だったんだよ。
Please, don't let yourself be fooled by him. Don't you feel angry at the way he manipulated you?
それは私がバカだったから、もういいの。
What a girl. I couldn't help but sigh.
騙されたとか、利用されたとか、理想のお父さんは実は悪い人だったとか、お母さんがとっても弱い人だったとか、私はあんまり引きずっていたくないな。何かされたからこっちも悔しいとか、何かされたからこっちも悲しいとか、そういった思いが続いていくのは、なんていうか嫌だな。でもやっぱりちょっと引きずっちゃうんだろうな。
She smiled peacefully. She had accepted something about herself. If anything happens, if you remember anything bad, please come tell me about it.
何そのどこかへ旅立っていくようなセリフは。
Well, my supervision of you is going to come to an end.
でも まだ町にはいるんでしょ？
I nodded. Well then, good night. I'm surprised by how calm you're taking this, but I guess that's for the best.
ショックで寝込んでるとでも思ったの？
Yeah. I guess you're stronger than I give you credit for.
いや、弱っちいよ。だから、
What is it?
うん。
If you have something to tell me, then tell me.
やっぱりいい。もう寝るね。
It probably wasn't something important enough to force out of her then. I turned my back to Toka. What is it now? I turned around.
なんでもない。
This was almost comical. Try not to repress your feelings too much, alright? Also, thanks for worrying about me a little while ago. It's been too long since someone else looked after me. It made me kinda happy. Bye. I left the room. I felt kind of giddy. So I guess this is the end of Toka's supervision. Adults, children. You know, I have to wonder just who came up with this stuff anyway. I don't get it. I exhaled a huge cloud of smoke. Well anyway, I guess this is where Kyoko-san and Toka's relationship really begins, eh? I hope they can find happiness. I looked up at the night sky. It wasn't just hot, it was humid as well. Kinda rare in these parts during the summer. It felt closer to an autumn night than a midsummer one. Next up is Nachan, huh? I'd like to finish this exam before autumn really does roll around. One-chan. We'll be able to meet again soon. For real. I leaned against the wall of the One home for a while, thinking about the sister who had left me behind.